but to say that he gave his blessing to another man to be with his wife. I mean,
gave the blessing to get the oochies.
Yeah. Good evening, everyone. Thank you again so much for tuning in. This is the Realdealfam Network. I am Andre, and this is my gorgeous wife, Essie.
Can you see it? Is it over his head? Hey,
oh boy,
I'm the boss of the show, but he's the head of the house, and that's just the way it is.
That is. But we thank y'all again so much for tuning in. If you hadn't had an opportunity yet, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button.
Subscribe.
We would highly appreciate it. We're on a 1,000 subscriber campaign.
1,000. Come on now.
All right. And they're going to make sure we reach that goal, that milestone. With that being said, we're going to dive right in. Tonight, we're going to talk about the situation that came up from a different perspective of the relationship that and the fallout behind Will and Jada Smith's marriage and alleged extramarital affair, and how they're dealing with it and how they came out in the media to talk about it.
You bet not. That's all I got to say. Bet not.
No,
he likes to live.
Yeah. There's a real black woman here.
Some bobbing up in here.
But with that being said, let's dive right in. Apparently, Will sat down with his wife and they had a discussion around the table, which sparked a lot of controversy. A lot of people had different feelings about the situation. Allegedly, Jada had an affair with a young man, and there's rumors out that Will gave his blessings for them to embark in that relationship.
Now, Will has been a celebrity for a long time, and there are alleged things that he's done, allegedly, with women and maybe some, I'm just gonna leave it like that. But so, they were supposedly separated or going through a separation. Many people alleged that they have an open marriage. And Jada said that, through her own mouth, that no matter what go on in their marriage, they're always going to be together. Whether they're together or whether they're apart, they're always going to remain married. So take that for what you will.
Right. And so how we're going to look at it from a context in terms of our community, African-American community as a whole, in terms of the role that marriage and family play into it. And by playing with things like that in terms of an open marriage, even if that's something that's really a part of our culture, it can be a destructive thing, as you've seen with their relationship. Will looked quite hurt during the interview. And
pulling teeth.
He
looks, like he did not want to do that, and she tried it.
Yes, and she didn't seem to be very forthcoming or completely.
What she call it, entanglement?
Yeah, she said that during their separation, she got involved with a young man, and he said it was a relationship, and Jada referred to it as kind of got herself entangled.
So I don't know why you would go on the show. It's your show. If you don't want to be honest and forthcoming, just don't do it then. Stop saying the entanglement and just go ahead and say she done, he let her hit it.
Well, she hold her guests to a certain standard. I guess she didn't hold herself to it. And I guess the reason why is because it's an uncomfortable situation. Especially to be discussing something like that with your husband in front of the world. Now, if for Will, he's a better man than me to sit there and discuss something like that.
You couldn't discuss if we had an affair?
No, I couldn't discuss it. It's not, number one, it's not public business, first of hand. And secondly, for his wife, even if Will agreed to it, for her not to come out and be completely honest and by him being vulnerable and putting himself out there like that.
Yeah, and he's a giant movie star. What the heck is he doing sitting up there talking about you saved us, you was happy you saved a man's life by giving him your Uchi.
Yeah, so her mindset is totally in a place that I can't relate to. That whole Hollywood celebrity type thing, I think it kind of puts them into just that, Hollywood, which is a fiction lifestyle.
Well, we're just going to take it there.
Yeah.
Black folks are 80% religious based.
Yeah.
And so when you get Will and Jada who are telling
What's
you
the
about...
other 20% crazy?
Yeah. You know, they're exploring. So I guess they're Will and Jada. So when you don't have Christ in your life, your marriage ain't going to be right. So you over there talking about enlightenment and all this kind of stuff. And you over there sharing your bodies with other folks. And then you teaching your kids polygamy and stuff. And, you know, they talked about that on the round table. And so the daughter was interested in having a polygamous relationship. And they little kids talking about this.
I think that, number one, being in a relationship and a committed relationship like that requires you to give everything you got. And that's tough enough. But bringing other people into your relationship, into your marriage, there's no way you're going to survive a thing like that. You're just playing with things that you shouldn't be. It's defiling your bedroom, bringing other people into your bedroom in the marriage. I mean, anybody who's been in a long-term relationship, there's going to be ups and downs in the relationship. Things take place within the relationship. But to say that he gave his blessing to another man to be with his wife. I mean,
gave the blessing to get the oochies.
Yeah, so that, to me, that's realistically coming from a African American man. That's just
yeah. That's what we're gonna be talking like. We black folks up in here. How do we see the situation? And black folks ain't trying to let nobody else be what they make. It's just hard.
We're very protectionist when it comes to that type of thing. But apparently William was having some problems. And they seem to be two different people going two different ways. But for me, everything started, like we tell you in all our videos, everything start and end with the good Lord in our household. So you need to put him, anytime you get married and you doing something like that, the reason why you have to go to a pastor or somebody to marry you is because you're embarking into a covenant, a contract, an agreement with another person. Now that
and the Lord.
Right. It's not going to mean you ain't going to make mistakes and stuff like that. But if you don't have him and y'all trying to go into it on your own power, your own ideas and stuff, then you get lost just like how they did. Jada's off, got another man saying she rescuing a young man who allegedly had some kind of substance abuse
Then he had
problem.
a mental breakdown after she, we gonna say abused because he's a young guy.
Yeah, that's what I call
substance abuse, then got entangled in a relationship with her Uchi. And now he's all messed up. Done wrote about it in the song, put it all on blast. Like, come on now, you gotta... If you was going through all that, he can't even abide by the silence code. Right.
Number one, he's young. And then at the time, he didn't seem to be emotionally mature or stable at that time.
Yeah, she messed with his
mind. To be
mind.
dealing with something like that. Number one, she's married. She's in a covenant already. You already, if you cared about that young man, you wouldn't even put him in a situation like that.
That's a Mrs. Robinson.
Right. So to me, off rip, it was a very selfish move by Jada. That's totally separate
but
between
she
her
tried
and
to ruin his career and lie and say that didn't happen.
Right, that's what I told you. So just like I just said, if you're depending on your own power and your own might, you see how shady we are as human beings, how flawed we are. Jada's a flawed person. She tried to go about it on her own. And you see what she did. She abused that young man and then denied that she did it. And all for her well-being.
And set up on her roundtable show acting all self-righteous when Snoop Dogg and everybody else coming sharing their dirt and she all self-righteous. Now, you know that's wrong.
Now, I thought, I was feeling a certain type of way where I felt like you was talking to me and this. I mean, just, she really ripped the man a new one. And he felt like he made a mistake. He ain't really need her to beat him down like that.
The little kid's pouring his heart out to her and stuff, and she's like tearing his career up.
Yeah, so, I mean, but that's just Jada being a human. That's the kind of mistakes you make. And then Will to have his issues. I'm sure he's a very busy man. He's seen to be unhappy in the marriage. And
if you're unhappy. Now, that's one thing God says that you can leave the relationship now. Somebody done cheated. So,
right, but
you're both unhappy.
Right, it seemed like they both may have had infidelity issues in the marriage. And so that's the problem is both of them are extremely blessed individuals. God has blessed both of them with talent. They both can act. They both got great careers. They have the finances that most black people don't experience and they never experience. But they're not focused. And so even with all of that, they still unhappy. It's folks got way less than they do and are a lot happier.
You happy?
Yeah, I'm very happy because I stay plugged into the source.
Right.
Yeah, you got to stay plugged into the source. I told you, you got to get with the good Lord. So you try it on your own. This the type of things you get into.
But everybody runs into something. It ain't like, no, we don't run into problems and stuff. Come on now.
But you got somebody to pray to. You got somebody to call on and say, man, I'm falling. And he going to convict you. When you out there scheming and getting into stuff and being wild, if you plugged into the source, he going to convict you and make you feel bad about that. But a person who added on their own, just like Jada did, she used the young man up and then didn't take any responsibility for the relationship. So,
what do you think about their relationship now? You think they're going to be able to make it?
I don't think they'll be able to make it if they don't plug into the source. That's just me. Now,
you ain't coming to God and trying to repair that thing. What we seeing is right now they're unevenly yoked. Currently, that's what I see. They're unhappy and will look off. Like,
yes,
the man. What did he say? He said, "I'm gonna get you back."
Yeah, so he made some kind of reference about getting back, and then Jada said, "Well, it's not even about. We wasn't even really about getting back." Then Will say, "Yeah, I for me it is." So it means something to him, and she's taking it like, okay, well, I did this. We're going to move past it. We're going to get on. But there's no real healing to me.
Embarrassment.
Yeah, it don't sound like any real healing has taken place.
Yeah, I mean, he's in the public now having to defend her from spreading the legs open to other men. That's tough.
Yes, and I mean, that is really,
and they
really
do
tough.
hold women to a higher esteem than men. And like we said, Will could have done cheated a gazillion times,
right.
And then once she did it, y'all heck broke loose. But we're just saying it's not right on either side.
Not.
So if you don't have the Lord in your life,
and basically that's our perspective on the video. A lot of things happen. We was watching a video where a young lady was talking about sex before marriage, how she held out and she was a virgin when she got married, and how difficult it is, and all the things, all the obstacles she had to maneuver through to make it to that point.
Yeah, that's like unheard of these days.
And neither me nor my wife was that way when we got married. So, but I wasn't saved at the time. I didn't follow the good Lord. I wasn't filled with the Spirit.
I would say, but man, it was hard.
Right, see, like, we ain't gonna go into that one. But, so you see, even with the good Lord, it's rough.
Yeah.
But the young lady was stressing, though. It was very important. She had a lot of support around her and the young man. Her husband wasn't a virgin when they got married, but he had to hold and respect her position on that. So it just took everybody to kind of come
everybody
into agreement.
Around you. So that's why you have to have good people around you,
right.
Loving couples around you. You grow up and teach your kids the right way as young people, so they know, because you need everything to be able to continue to keep it going. And
the reason why the young lady said it was very important to her, it was that she knew she was going to come into a marriage, and that was a very important thing she could give her husband. Was that you know what I'm saying? She was a virgin. But it was her faith that led her to see that. If you don't have any faith, everything you do is based on your own philosophy, on your own mind, on your own will. Like you said, people talking about my will, my frequencies, and all this craziness.
Right, metaphysics. Who created the science, bro?
So
we know the science exists. The science just explains how God works. That ain't God. You got to have faith in Him.
I want to represent the idea that you really can make what you want. One of my favorite books is the Alchemist, Paulo Coelho, and magic, right? That you're in a universe and 2 + 2 = 4. 2 + 2 only equals 4 if you accept that 2 + 2 = 4. 2 + 2 is going to be what I want it to be. Like there's a redemptive power that making a choice has. you know, rather than feeling like you're at effect to all the things that are happening. Make a choice. Like, you just decide what it's going to be, who you're going to be, how you're going to do it. Just decide. And then from that point, the universe is going to get out your way.
So if she wasn't plugged into the source, and you have his word, you reading his word, you learning about him, you connected to him. Once you get that real connection in your spirit, then you know I'm married to the Lord, and I'm gonna do everything in my power, and I'm gonna pray he keeps me from getting into something like that.
Yeah, keeps me, guides me, protects me.
And that's what keeps black families powerful. And that's why our family, that's why we went through a lot as a people. I believe, this is my personal belief, is that we strayed away from the source. And without the source, you ain't got no teaching. You ain't got no understanding. You don't even know who you are. So you see us out there wandering the streets. You see men telling other dudes, man, I just had this woman and that woman. That is not who you are as a people. That's not what you was designed for, bro. That's why you can't prosper. That's why we can't prosper as a people, because we're not focused. You ain't living in the life you're supposed to be.
Right.
living.
If you go out there and you sleep around and catch something, then your life's cut short. You catch a whole bunch of children with a whole bunch of different women. It's miserable, and the kids don't get cared for. They grow up messed up. It's a cycle. So
Right.
God has it so that, I mean, it sounds so cliche. You don't want to hear it all the time, but it's set up for a reason. It's set up so that you can be prosperous. If you have a husband and a wife in a household, and the children grow up to see that in a loving, healthy relationship,
Yes.
and you're able to have somebody to care for the kids or not have to send them off to be with a whole bunch of different people, and husband can work or however y'all got it set up, but it's a loving household, it continues on through generations, and you're able to build wealth.
That's it. He is the creator. So the creator, he gave you the instruction manual on your life, on what you're supposed to do. And he stay connected to you in spirit. So you got everything you need. But if you stray away and you're living in sin and you're sleeping around, you're doing all the stuff you're not supposed to, you're gonna have a crazy lifestyle. There's no reason Will and Jada shouldn't be happy.
Right. They got all the metaphysics and enlightenment, but they seem unhappy.
If they have their health, and it appears they have that, they have resources the way they don't lack in terms of food or housing or anything like that. They got their kids are blessed. Their whole family should be elated and thanking God every day.
Right, but money ain't the source of happiness.
Right, so they're not plugged in to who they supposed to be. So now they unhappy. They getting into things that what we do as a people when we don't have the instruction manual. We stray off into getting all kind of foolishness.
Yeah.
You're sleeping with a man who having emotional problems. That's somebody else's husband in the future. And you just messing his life up, his road up for your own selfish, fleshly purposes. You see, and that's the thing about us. We got to get back to the source as a people. Black folk ain't going to thrive if they don't get back to the source. And we do video, we talk about the other folk, about what they doing, and they coming up and what's going to happen. But for us to live our true life, we got to get back to the source.
Yeah, I mean, you know, your elders always tell you these things, and you just think they're crazy when you're young people don't want to listen to that mess. That's some old people stuff. But
yeah,
when it comes down to it, that's there to guide you, keep you, and protect you.
That's it. Then you be like, man,
mind, body, spirit, soul, everything, pocketbook, everything. It's there to grow you.
Yeah, then you wonder why you can't go to the bar with the boys and hang out and do all this kind of stuff. It's reason behind that. It's stuff in them places. If you're a married man, you shouldn't be there.
Yeah, why would you be going to the strip, watching these reality TV shows that's not real, and you let your husband go to the booty bopping job?
Yeah, it never. I quite can't understand how that.
Giving your hard-earned money to the stripper.
Yeah, the good Lord, he was always with me in that respect. I ain't believe in getting no money.
You ain't really be up in the booty bopping.
But before I was even married, I ain't getting no woman, no money I worked for like that. You're crazy as I don't know what.
Yeah, you got enough to see over here, mister.
Yes, but taking money out of your household and taking it into a club and giving another woman your money that belongs to your family is, to me,
not even your descendants. that's wealth, inheritance that you should be building.
That's because you feeding something that shouldn't be fed. But if you're happy and you're plugged into the source, you won't need to be at the titty bar. You won't need to. But that we just want to touch in on that and give our take on Will and Jada's situation now. I just think that they both might be very well great individuals and great people, but they're trying to do it on their own. And being in Hollywood and around all those other people who are not connected, who lives very wild lifestyles, those are not real lifestyles.
That's
fake.
not for black folks.
Right.
They need to get back in touch with who they are.
Right, on a grand scale. That's what I was like, man, to me, I don't know what kind of black folk talk like that or look like that. I ain't never seen a black man get on TV and laugh and joke with his wife while she telling you about how she rescued another dude.
With her Uchi.
Yeah, so for me, I don't understand it, but you got to get back to the source. That's where our people belong. We're blessed people, but we got to walk in our truths. But with that being said, y'all try to stay out of that. Stay connected to the good Lord. Be thankful every day for what he gave you, your household, your kids, your wife. Don't look at what other people done got accumulated. Because somebody looking at you and just like, man, I wish I was in their shoes.
That's right. You blessed, baby. You blessed. Hey, John.
But thank y'all again so much for tuning in. Everybody out there, be blessed and pray for Will and Jada that they get their relationship back on track.
Get their mind right.
Right.
Get their mind right.
Right. And get back to the source, and that their life be blessed and stop living that crazy lifestyle. And with that being said, please, if you hadn't had the opportunity, go ahead and subscribe.
We got great juicy topics.
Great videos. Just real folk talking real folk situation. And hit that subscribe button. We'll highly appreciate it. With that being said, y'all have a blessed evening. Good night.
He's going to have a blessed evening.
Good night.
Good night.